Yo, so it's easy to say if you're a Mets fan that not getting Carlos Correa is a bad move, right? And if you're tuning in to hear me talk about Carlos Correa, I'm sorry, I'm not. Carlos Correa is a Minnesota Twin. Congratulations to him on his no, on his $200 million contract. Toodaloo. I'm here to talk about the Mark Vientos, the Ronnie Mauricio, the Brett Beatty, the Francisco Alvarez, the Alex Ramirez, the Matt Allens, the Blake Tidwells, and those type of guys, right? I'm here to talk about those type of guys just real quick. Just real quick. All right. So if for those of y'all who know me, y'all already know where I'm going with this because y'all been rocking with Uncle Freezy for a while. For those of you Mets fans that are watching this as Mets fans and don't know who I am, I have always been a fan of internal improvement. Improve through in-house options first, and then shop for improvements that you can't find in-house. And I think Brett Beatty at third base is a reasonable option. What I would expect from Brett Beatty as a full-time third baseman this year is probably about 250, on base around 350, average to mediocre defense at third, with the arrow pointing up though. With that being his baseline totals for the rest of his career. I'm thinking like 250, 18, 19, 20 home runs. Average, I'm saying average, even though I don't want to say average. I want to say below, but I'm going to say average defense. Average defense at third. Right? But with the arrow pointing up, with that being the floor for his career. Everything after that is stacked on top of that, getting better every year. But you can't expect a guy like Brett Beatty to jump into the lineup right now and make the All-Star team. Now, if he does that, great. If he does that, great. That's what I really want. I want 275, 25 home runs, 80 RBIs, above average defense, staying healthy, right? But we have a Ronnie Mauricio issue. See, Ronnie Mauricio is no longer the 6'2", 166 kid. Ronnie Mauricio was about 6'3", about 210 right now. He might be too big to be, in today's MLB, in today's show. I don't think you can get away with huge second baseman. And besides that, Jeff McNeil is one heck of a second baseman. So what do you do with Ronnie Mauricio? Do you have him play left field with Mark Canha, split time out there, DH? I think you do. You got to give these young kids a shot. I think the fact that they signed Tommy Pham lets us know that they're going all in on the kids. They're not going to trade for anyone. They're going to play these kids and let these kids get at bats. I would love to see Mark Vientos get some at bats at DH. Right? He's not a fielder. He's not a third baseman. He's not a first baseman. We already have a first baseman with power. Right? We already have a first baseman with power. So we don't need Vientos there, but Vientos is a talent. And so we'd be very not smart to waste Mark Viento's talents. Right? The same thing with Alvarez. We have an everyday catcher, right? He's decent. He was a one-time All-Star. He might be able to recapture something. You don't want to spend a lot of money in a catcher position because they get hurt so often, right? And unless you have a Salvador Perez or a Yadier Molina, you really don't, or a JT Realmuto, you really don't even want to pay him, right? You just rotate guys in there. It's like a fullback. You don't want to pay a fullback, right? You don't want to pay a tight end. You don't want to pay a center in basketball, right? But what does that mean for the outfield, though? If you move Mauricio into the outfield, if you move, just play the kids. Give the kids a chance. I'm for playing the kids. Let's see what Matt Allen can do. Let's see what Blade Tidwell can do. Before we consider trading these kids away, let's allow them to, before we condemn Parada to the trade chip status, let's see what these kids can do, play every day. I'm not saying in the show, by the way, Matt Allen in the minors, probably AA. Parada and probably AA. Tidwell probably AA, somewhere in that area. Alex Ramirez probably AA. Let them kids play every day, and then let's see what we have next year. In terms of the kids that we have this year, Beatty, Alvarez, Mauricio, Vientos, you gotta at least give them 150, 200 at bats a piece at the major league level for them to find their groove, right? And we all know outfielders like Starling Marte, when they get to a certain age, they start to get brittle, right? I'd like to see Mauricio try right field, left field, corner outfield, see what his arm is like. He's got all the physical tools. You know what I'm saying? The kid can kind of play. You know what I'm saying? He's used to playing second base. I'm sorry, shortstop, third base. But at the major league level, you know, do you really put Mauricio at third and put Beatty in left? If you put Beatty in left, then Mark Canha has to be the fourth outfielder. I'm sorry. And I know a lot of people like Canha. I don't want to put a bridge quarterback in the way of you know, a young quarterback, so to speak. Right? For Giants fans out there, I wouldn't want to put Tyrod Taylor in front of Daniel Jones. Let Daniel Jones play under a good coach, and then see what you have. Right? Let's see. So for the most part, what I'm saying is Carlos Correa is not a Met. He never was. Toodaloo. I don't care. So what? So what? The Mets are deep. As a matter of fact, I don't remember the Mets being this deep with position players since the early 80s. Since we acquired Howard Johnson. Howard Johnson was 23, 24 years old. Since we had Darryl Strawberry, Mookie Wilson, Lenny Dykstra, all these young players. Ron Darling coming up with the Texas Rangers. Sid Fernandez with the Dodgers. You know, Dwight Gooden, draft pick by the Mets. You know what I'm saying? Play these young kids, and in 3 years, start getting your ring finger ready for some hardware. Let's go, Mets.